Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at another Lucky Seven Proprietor 14-year-old Dustin. This one comes in at 118.6 proof. When we originally got these, man, I was so impressed with like the first couple ones we opened up. And I remember saying, like, we're going to bring you more of these. And I had what turned out to be 3 different vintages. I destroyed one with a friend of mine. Just opened this one up a couple weeks ago. I found one over in there that was over 130%. I do remember us liking the ones that were over 130% better than the ones that were under. But I tell you what, man.
Let's get into it.
I got into this last week. I like the bottles. I like this age. I like these proprietors. Shark bottle.
Yeah, Mike. Bang. So we kind of went back and forth because I wasn't like big on reviewing every one of these just because
Barrel 7. Well, this one's the lower ABV than the one we had before.
Well, they're single barrels, and then like we kind of got into reviewing other stuff, and now these are no longer available.
Yeah.
But Mike reminded me, some of you guys have these bottles, and how cool it is when somebody reviews your single cask bottle that no one else has done. And we get those comments all the time. Sure. We probably get 2 a month where someone's like, man, I cannot believe somebody reviewed this single cask. I never thought I'd see it. Thank you. And you know what? Those comments mean more to us than really almost any other comment because it's just the kind of stuff. Well, also it's the kind of stuff we look for, and like when we find it, we're so happy too. Like we get it. Like that's kind of what got us into doing this.
For sure,
it's that community of like helping somebody out on something obscure.
Well, I mean that was originally the thought was, hey, look, man, I made some bad whiskey decisions. Like, not only need an opinion, and I found some opinions. I think the first one I saw was Ralphie. But like I want opinions of people who have a similar experience to what I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're growing up with bourbons and things of that nature. So a Midwest person's opinion on Scotch, which isn't everyone's opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was someone in recent videos, and this isn't uncommon, but they were like, "Oh, I'm bummed. I got this bottle, and you're kind of lukewarm." Every time it's the same thing. Like, don't be. You know what I mean? You have a completely different experience. Like people that follow our channel for a long time know. Like we like peated whiskeys, we like Lagavulin and Springbank, Isla whiskeys. They know our profile.
We like age statements.
Right. We have our likes like anybody else has likes.
But I think what's also fun though is even if we do disagree with somebody, if there's only one review out there, there's something fun about like you're at home, you just got a new bottle, you cracked it,
whatever,
and you want to drink it, listening to some guys talk about it. That's part of what Whiskey Tube's so much fun with, and you can't do that with these single casks sometimes. So
yeah,
that's the fun part about doing these is like there'll be 1 or 2 people who actually get to drink along with us, and that's cool because there's no one else who's probably going to do this exact barrel. You know?
If not, hey, what else are you doing? Have fun. Maybe we're driving to work. Maybe we're trying to pass out.
Hey, whatever.
Background noise.
Or you just want to hear us about drinking bourbon.
You know it.
And by the way, Mike,
is he recognizable as older whiskey?
So it's older whiskey, and it's got that light cherry note that shows up on that Barton distillate when it's a little bit lower ABV.
You say cherry note?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's right there.
You don't get a lot of the cherry on the higher proof ones. This one's a little more cherry, and it's very like medicinal cherry. But
there was a ton of furniture polish.
There's some bubble gum on here too.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's a bit of a hubba bubba, heavily sugared.
Yeah, or Laffy Taffy note even in there.
God, I love this oak note too. This oak note's in the background, but it's a good char to this barrel.
You know what's nice about the oak on this? It is beautiful, but it's also forgetable in the sense that like you can.
It is background.
You can enjoy the other notes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when like you get 14 years, the oak kind of punches you. We've been drinking a bunch of like sherried whiskeys tonight, Mike.
Sure.
And sometimes like I get just jarred by like there's an oak punch at the end because that's common with a lot of sherried oak.
That's probably the reason why I gravitated this almost instantly is it's a little bit different. You're right. It's probably in the first or the second most dominant flavor here, but it was the one that for whatever reason just I gravitated to almost instantly.
Yeah, well, the oak is really, really nice here, as you noted, but it lets you enjoy the rest of the whiskey.
Absolutely.
And that's not something you always get. And it's not a flaw if the oak is the show, because that could be a great show. I'm just saying I like that about this particular bottle is it lets that sweetness go.
Yeah, it's a nice middle ground.
And as you noted, it's an old whiskey, which means there's nothing wrong here. There's nothing that's annoying. There's nothing unpleasant. Everything has gotten its time to reach that fruitiness. You no longer get like corn notes or like, still notes. It's all good stuff.
14 years is a long time for a bourbon.
Yes.
Equivalent, what would you call it, a 25-year-old Scotch?
I would say 12 is at 21 plus. Yeah, 14 is probably getting into 25. Yeah, absolutely.
23. It's one of our favorite ages. It's an obscure age for Scotch, but for some reason we have plenty of bottles that are that age.
It's a good year.
Good year. Yeah, this does a lot of things really nice. I'm getting a little bit of a cola root beer note to it as well.
Ooh, good call. I was actually going to say cream soda.
Sure, I could get there.
Because the vanilla note is
The
nice
vanilla note,
here.
you're right. You can incorporate the vanilla note, and you're right in the same ballpark.
You know, the hardest part about reviewing bourbon, I've always found, is you have to find the right way to explain the vanilla. Because every bourbon's got vanilla, and some vanilla is way better than others.
This is very rich, decadent vanilla here. And a cola note isn't uncommon.
No, but I think the cream soda here, because it's that smooth, easy vanilla
A&W cream soda. Specifically,
sparkling vanilla cream soda.
Look, man, there are different types of root beer. I've always been a fan of root beers. I like Dr Pepper. I like anything that's good.
Yeah.
Root beer. I grew up in Chicago. Everyone drank A&W there, right? So I moved to Columbus, Ohio, and everyone here drinks Marks.
Not as big a fan.
Right. Well, it's like a bitier, spicier one. Yeah. And then there's also mug, caffeine-free mug. And that's more of a sudsy, sodery, heavy foam type of thing. But what I liked about A&W was it had a strong vanilla note to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting that here, Dustin.
Yeah. Well, again, A&W makes a sparkling vanilla cream soda.
That is excellent, too.
That is where I'm kind of like getting here. Although you know what you mentioned,
the champagne of sodas.
Although you mentioned Chicago, and you know what? This gives me a little reminder of is Goose Island.
Oh,
root beer.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever had that, but it's a craft
I have not,
beer distillery. But they made their own craft. They didn't use cane sugar. They used they used cane sugar.
Instead of fructose syrup.
Yeah, fructose. Really good, and it gives me a little of that too.
Goose Island had its place in my heart. There was a time that I was a big Goose Island fan. They put on, when the Bears in 2018 were good and they lost by the field goal because their field goal kicker did the double doink, Cody Parkey. They put on a thing like drink all day for $10 and see if you can make the kick in snowy weather. It did not go well for people.
We've got to do a Goose Island whiskey review here coming up at some point.
Yeah, those you don't know, I'm a huge Bears fan. Which
if you don't, how did you not?
How did you not know?
You've not been watching this channel.
I tell you what, very consistent product. Very consistent product. Here's the positives. Losses, always in stock. Available for same-day delivery, usually within 5 hours. In the first 60 minutes, you know it's going there, though.
Well, and the best part about being there is you got another team if you don't want to root for them.
Not football, but yeah, you got plenty of other teams in Chicago.
Well, I mean, you're so close to
Oh yeah, there's Packer fans.
Yeah. It's
Colts aren't far away.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike, as the sweetness subsides, you do get a little bit of that nutty woodiness that
I would say some nuttiness is building for sure.
Yeah, which is one of those things that's not what I look for in a bourbon, but it's fine.
Yeah, almost it was a beam nuttiness though. Not quite, but it's similar.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's
well aged though.
It's Barton distillate. Nothing wrong with any of these notes. But I think that note's kind of what's telling me that the ABV is not super high, because the higher ABV would not have subsided and let us get that into the whiskey.
Dustin, I'm like you. Some of these, my favorite ones of these were always over 130. This one being 118 is usually the ones that were very average. But for the very average ones, this might be my favorite.
This is average of an exceptional level.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Of the average ones, this might be my favorite. Because the lower ABV helps the cherry and the wood note and everything kind of play together.
Ooh. Oh, I see why you like this one, buddy.
I didn't have high expectations. When I had to open up another one, I'll go the low ABV one first. I'll expect to be disappointed. But I wasn't. Give it to me, Dustin.
Yeah.
Give me the
this is, for the bourbon guys here, this is a spicy, bitey, high alcohol version of a really well-aged beam. For those not getting that, it's got this really nice little bit of nuttiness up front. Not super nutty, but nice nuttiness on the arrival with this sweet, decadent, it's got some caramel, but it's also got red apple going on. And then as you transition, you get more of a light apple with, again, nuttiness and oak all the way through, a little shoe varnish, touch of leather, a little antiqued wood, but not too much. It doesn't go heavy on any of those, but it's got it all there. A little tobacco spice is coming in at the finish as well.
Leather, tobacco, all those things.
Wow.
Leather, tobacco, all those things are there. Heavy leathers. The caramel note initially was there. It got devoured. But that caramel note was actually nice there at the beginning. Clean caramel.
Oh, see, to me, the caramel had like fruits interlaid all the way through it.
That's not dirty though.
No. But I'm just saying it's not just clean caramel. It's caramel with other awesome stuff.
Yeah, this one, I've thought for all the ones of the Lucky Seven Proprietors I tried, this one seems absolutely the most complex on the palate. It has the most going on. It's putting cask, it's putting smoke, it's putting fruitiness into it, and sweetness from.
You're right. There's a little wood smoke
from caramel. I mean, it's really adding quite a few dimensions to this one. I mean, again, I wouldn't rank this as some of my more favorite ones in the mid 130s, but for 118, I can't think of a better one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to Mike's point, it doesn't do anything on the exceptional level.
No,
it does everything really really well. Very nice. I mean, just very nice. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I knew you'd be turned off by this ABV. I know what the precedent we've established, me, you, and Adam, as far as what the good ones are. And the good ones are 130 plus. Yeah, I get that, or at least 120.
I had one that was about the same, and it was a cherry bomb with like not much else going on. I still enjoyed it.
I love the wood note in this.
But this, yeah, you're right. This has a nice wood note. It doesn't have the super antique epic wood, but it's really nice.
It still gets furniture polish at times. Mm-hmm. It definitely does get furniture polish. Catholic Church, first mass of the day. Everyone's in a bad mood.
This is good.
You know you're going to be terrible in the parking lot leaving into the waitress at Bob Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not tipping because it's church day and you gave it all to the...
Oh, no. You're doing that
to the church.
That's part of your dad's dismay. I'm talking a cold January Catholic church.
Right, so I've added water here, Mike. And
wooden chairs and kneelers. You get padding if you're lucky. Concrete, stone, nothing soft. If you die there, no, you're going to die on a hard surface.
Mike had a rough childhood at church.
And you deserve it. I'm just kidding. Dustin, this whiskey makes me happy.
Yeah,
it was more than I expected.
I added water, and again, it moves stuff around like it always does in bourbons.
Yeah. Well, it left a good wood note. I like that wood note.
It actually made the wood even better with the water.
A little bit of caramel in the back, just a little pricky caramel.
Muted a little some of the fruits. It's a little less Jim Beamy, a little more.
It is a little less nutty. It's caramel and wood.
Almost, I don't even know, man. It's just, this is like middle of the road, best version of bourbon kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like, it's not distinctly any distillery. It's just good aged bourbon.
Solid aged whiskey. Sweet, approachable, mouth coating.
Yeah.
Alcohol, I wouldn't say non-existent, but not forward.
Yeah. I guess, what I would say for your bourbon drinker is, if you are a rye spice guy, this is lacking that.
Sure.
If you're somebody who's looking for
there's a twinge of tobacco need.
Well, tobacco, I don't know if it necessarily is from rye. It's from aging, I think, a lot of times.
Well, it's something a rye person could maybe...
Well, sometimes some of them are looking for that mint note. They're looking for some of those, like...
Well, it's not mint. It's a different...
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
And then, if you're looking for, like, a funk note that you get maybe in a turkey, just very clean.
Very clean.
If you're looking for, like, Texas, where, like, you get heavy oak notes, nothing like that.
This is a nice middle ground.
This is very middle ground, perfectly done.
Well done middle ground.
Yeah. Even, like, Knob Creek, when they're this age, are not this middle ground. This is just really nice middle ground.
It really shares the show between sweetness and a little bit of wood, a little bit of spice.
It's sweet and oak. It brings in some good fruits, but not... The fruits aren't like a showcase either.
Easy furniture polish, church pew type of note there. It's oppressive, but it's nice.
Even like the chocolate notes you get on bourbons, this is middle of the ground. There's a little bit of it, but it's pretty light. You like nuttiness? There's nuttiness here.
Nothing is 40% of the experience.
Yeah. Nothing. Exactly. It is a little of everything here.
All right, Dustin, my bottle. Whiskey score time. Give it to me.
I'll give this an 89, Mike. Excellent whiskey. I can't think of a reason to go 90 because there's no super wow factor, and I can't think of a reason not to go 89 because I'm enjoying it that much. Even the lower ABV helps because it makes it so approachable to drink.
I was so pleased with this whiskey. The other two ones I had were over 130, right? And, again, we formulated an opinion.
Yeah.
So when I broke out, I had three of them. When I broke out one with a buddy of mine down the street, one we never got to, and went through it. It was 132, 134, something like
That was the Party Source one, I think, right?
Dustin, come on.
We'll find out.
Right. I'd be lying if I told you I knew.
Well, if it is, we can still review that one because I still have some of that left.
But I had two left. I had one that was like 135 or roughly that, and then this one that was 118. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the 118 out of the way because I don't want my last experience with it to be one that we weren't impressed with.
Yeah.
Because this has been a fun series.
Oh,
we were very complimentary the first. I think it's our second or third one we've done.
Yeah.
We've been very complimentary of them. So I opened up this 18-year-old, and I was impressed from drink one. Mm-hmm. And the foothold that was always impressive about this whiskey was it had a really nice wood note with at first I call it subdued, but now I would call it a strong sweetness to counterbalance it. And those two things counterbalance so well. And then you sprinkle in some caramel on it.
You know how much I like this whiskey, Mike? I'm going Keith style here and pouring a little extra before we end the review.
It's good whiskey, man.
That's
it's
how much
good
I
whiskey.
like this one.
It's a little different than what we've been heavily sherry tonight.
I like the balance out here at the end.
Pour more, live a little.
All right.
It's rare that you go to a bourbon at the end of the night and say, "Oh, I enjoy the wood on this particular bourbon." But having said that, you don't often get a 14-year-old bourbon.
No, that's a very rare thing these days.
You know what? Here's the thing. If I bought multiple...
Should we take a few points off for the fact that it's a little hard to pour easily?
It's a cool bottle.
It is, but it definitely doesn't pour as clean as we'd like.
Look, this was a whiskey that as soon as I had it, I was like sight unseen. Let me see how many I get my hands on. I mean, part of that was price. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
But again, here's another scenario where I could recognize quality and quality age, which is something that I've always been able to pick up well.
And you're not a bourbon drinker.
Correct. But on whiskeys, I can pick up age pretty quickly. And I know when you have good age, I mean, what's the basement on a good aged whiskey? On something that is 14 years on a bourbon or 25 years on a scotch. I mean, what's worst case scenario here?
I mean, it used to be you expected maybe $750 a year when she got to like 10 years on a bourbon.
I meant as far as quality of product. Like, what's the basement in this scenario? It's high. It's a high floor.
Well, the thing is,
It's a high floor.
Nobody in bourbon. No one in bourbon is going to sell a 12 or 14-year-old bourbon that got overaged because they don't exist. Like, they just sell it when it's ready. Like,
correct.
No one's waiting this long.
Correct.
Unless it's just magic. And that's what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, these especially, not Lucky Seven in general, 14 the Proprietor, those specifically. Me and a few guys, you, and a few other guys, we had a run on these bourbons.
And I know it's going to happen, Mike. There's going to be a comment. Have you had a 15-year? And the answer is no.
No, I haven't.
There were only few releases that I saw, and they went to the moon on price too fast for me to get them.
Correct. And the reason why they did was on the shoulders of this release.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you know what? I have not heard the 15s were better than the 14s.
There's nothing I've seen definitively to make me think, oh, I missed out.
They sound like they're as good. And so, which might make sense. I mean, 1 year can make a difference, but the reality is they weren't waiting. It was just they had barrels and they were just kind of naturally progressing, and a couple hit 15.
Yeah, this was the Barora Port Ellen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they give us like, bottle date and anything like that.
No.
So like this could be 14 years and 11 months for all we know,
I mean, all we know is it's bottle number 7, barrel number 7. This particular AB was 59.3 or 118.6 proof. Now, how many barrel number 7s, 14-year-old proprietors are with this ABV? It would be surprising if it duplicated. And the reason why is it goes to the 10th. It goes to the 0.6.
Well, that's the barrel. That's literally they had. That's of their 14 years they released. That was the 7th barrel. Period.
Oh, period.
Yeah.
Well, then there it is.
Yeah.
That's all you need. God, I still say with people, hey, if you can still find this, and this, the guys who are like really big bourbon people, like, look, these are the bourbons I've been impressed with from a Scotch first perspective. And again, what does that mean, Scotch first? It means you like more oak, probably. Earthier notes.
So
less sweet, more dry.
I think you like more oiliness in your whiskey.
That too.
Because the malt is oilier than that. And also pot still versus column still creates more oiliness. So
Yeah.
you're an oil guy.
Yeah.
You definitely are generally going to prefer oak.
Absolutely.
And I think you generally, when you're a Scotch guy, you focus more on finish than the average bourbon guy who's not into Scotch.
I don't know about that, but the rest of those points I agree with you on. You know, at the end of the day, if you have a whiskey that has an interesting taste with a decent ABV, strong flavors, you made a commitment. You know what I mean? I don't want 40% half-assed
No.
commitment in my whiskey. Not at this stage of my whiskey journey. You know what I mean?
No. Well, and I think, like my dad, he's been drinking whiskey for, 50 plus years. He is definitely somebody who can appreciate quality, but he's still somebody who prefers low ABV. So that's out there. I get it. I bring a bourbon over that's like, 96 proof, and he still wants an ice cube in it. So that's a thing out there. So don't worry about that if that's the way you like to drink your bourbon.
For sure. Yeah, drink whiskey however you want to drink whiskey. For sure. I mean,
But we're guys who enjoy the neat drinking experience. So, that's something else to think about when you're watching our reviews versus somebody who actually really enjoys. Like Ralphie likes to put 2-3 tablespoons of water in.
he likes 35%.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be the best as far as to dissect flavors. I wouldn't know. He's better than we are. What I will say is this. We're all some setting on the equalizer.
Yeah.
We are turned up to a 10 on ABV, cask strength, overly sherried, overly peated whiskey.
We like an intense experience.
Correct.
With a lot of age. Absolutely.
Correct. I'm also a huge coffee fan. And as you know, Dustin, I go out of my way to get a pump-driven espresso machine, go to local roasters, you know what I mean, and get their darkest, filthiest bean they possibly have, and I'll grind it myself.
I think you get even dirtier, but anyway. That's how much I like my dark coffee too.
That's kind of whiskey we like. So
yeah.
That should be our staple as far as introducing your whiskey channel. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. Overall, Dustin, let's give whiskey score time. Forgive me. It's my bottle.
We both did 89s.
Oh, forgive me. We both did 89s. I will cut that out because I'm drunk.
Well, let's just focus this. The reason why this is going long, guys, is very simple. We know only whiskey fans, and the guys who found this are even watching this at this point.
Or people that fell asleep.
Fair enough. But the thing is, that's why we're reviewing this whiskey. This is not one we expect to get a lot of views on. This is just us doing it because we love what these guys did, and we wanted to put this out there for you guys. This is literally us trying to help out the 4 people who are going to watch this who had this same bottle. That's it.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, you're as much a bourbon guy as you are a Scotch guy.
Yeah.
I say you're as close as 50-50 as any person I know personally in the whiskey community.
Yeah.
I'm skewed Scotch.
Yeah.
When I tell you I like a bourbon, and it's an aged bourbon, and I tell you I like the wood note, I like the mouthfeel, and I like the texture, you best believe you're in for a ride if you like those things. Believe me on those points.
This is epic.
Right. That's what we're trying to say. This is epic for what we like. And every one of these Lucky Seven proprietors have been this way.
I would say
every one of them.
The worst one is maybe an 88, and the best is probably a 92. And that's insane to even say, but I bet you there's a 92
I still have
out
one
there.
that's 135 in the back. I haven't even opened yet. I have no idea what to expect. But based on this,
Can't wait.
Can't wait. I didn't know I had 3 until I blew through one of them, and that was good, dude. That was 123, like 1238 or something like that. I didn't like it as much as this. It was more sweet, but Dustin.
Like, I just keep going back and nosing this thing. It is so
As you know,
enjoyable.
as you can attest, Dustin, you've known me for what, 6-7 years now?
Yeah.
When I find something I like, I will buy in mass.
2018 we met.
I will buy in mass if I find something I like, a whiskey I like. I don't care if it's an Irish whiskey. I don't care if it's a Scotch.
You're the first person I've ever called and said, "Hey, I found a whiskey," and you said, "Buy the shelf." And I had money in my account before I was in my car.
They didn't buy the shelf one time on Lafroig 18s for $111 a piece. Now, I brought 9, but there was 10. I was like, I'll leave one for someone else. And I remember carrying 9 of them. And I didn't want to put them in bags for some dumb reason. And I was in Xenia, Ohio, of all places. I was going to Cincinnati and I just happened to stop there with my buddy, and I'm holding it all, and these group of young people are like having a party. I'm like, as dumb as this might be to say, no, and no one else is touching any of this whiskey. I'm going to drink it like I should be charging tax on a bridge and living underneath it like a troll. I'm going to have all these Lafroig 18s by myself. They're green too. Good day, Dustin. Anyway,
It's one of those moments you're like, they don't know it's still sitting here.
yeah.
They're charging premiums for bourbon, and this scotch is sitting on the shelf.
You must be going to a party. I said, you could not be more wrong. I am going home with these.
I'm going home. I'm going to turn the lights down.
With nearly
the fireplace
two
on.
cases of Lafroig 18s.
And I'm going to literally sit there in the dark by myself with music and just sip.
That girl at the cash register said, I don't normally ask people for their IDs, but sir, this is $187 or whatever it is. Can I have your ID? I'm like, you can absolutely have my ID.
What else would you like?
Exactly. I give my driver's license number by name. All right. Anyway, Lucky Seven Proprietor, 14-year-old. If all those things are present, you're not in for a bad experience. I can give you my whiskey opinion on that and feel very confident.
I still can't believe these were not allocated with people lining up at stores.
Oh, thank you. Every once in a while we get a gift.
And while they're waiting for Weller Antique.
Man, now it's getting super caramel.
Dude, the sweetness on this. Now, this mine's still, this is, I just reported, so like it's, unwatered.
Mine's the same one. It's watered, and it is just super caramel and wood chips. Little Blackadder fucking like sprinkled in there. Like salt on your eggs. All right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys lasting as long as if you did, or if you're just sleeping. I do have a good voice for that. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.
Lucky 7. Super low ABV.
Quit fucking crying.
I'm not crying. I'm excited to see what this is.